places like America, where everything is provided for you physically, you know how you end up? You end up coddled. You end up with high expectations. You end up with perceiving your body will be the same at 70, 80, and 90 as it would have been when you were 20. You dress like you're still young. You act like you're still young, but you're not. You think like you can do everything, but you can't. Diseases take over, depression take over, unhappiness takes over, loneliness takes over, your partner dies, you're aging, your mortality is very strong. All that comes on, and what do you have left? You have death. And when you have death, you're not prepared. You don't want to let go. You have unfinished work. You don't want to let go of your partner. What about your kids? And it's all this drama that goes on in your life as you die, and then you die. But it's not like that in the monasteries. It's a total polar opposite. People in the monastery are not afraid of death. They don't experience the fear of death before, during, at all. Ever. I've never seen a monk die or heard of a monk die in fear. We're not talking about a small community of 15 people, 1,300. So there, like I would say about 20% of the population is very old monks. 15, 20% very old. And you don't see monks trying to regain their youth. You don't see people trying to be happy with plastic surgery. You don't see people running around trying to put on pounds of makeup to look good. You don't see people trying to pick up on a girl. You don't see people trying to get a husband. America, you're 50, you've been married 50 years, your partner dies, you're lonely, you're sad. The solution to be happy is to find another girlfriend. And then, oh wow, I got married again. See, she's 70, I'm 75, and we're so happy, and we're gonna go on a cruise, and we have our pension, and look, we wake up in the morning, we're alive together, we're holding hands. I watch these programs, and we have breakfast together, and we have lunch together, and we sleep together, and we watch TV together, and then we're so happy because we can do all this together. And you hear, and this is American life. One thing about America is even when you're 70, your goal in life is to find a partner. And that's it. That's it. That's your goal in life. To have a partner and not to be alone. Because being alone is worse than hell. Because that's the way you're raised. But in the monasteries, to be alone is not worse than hell. To be alone is a time to meditate, to develop, to improve, to gain higher states in your mind. Loneliness in the monastery, there's no such thing as loneliness. I've never heard of a monk who says, I'm lonely. No, I'm not. Really, I've never heard. It is funny because you see, these are not things you realize when you're in the States. You may think, when I was younger, I think, what's the big deal? But it is a big deal because for half your life you're young, for half your life you're old. And it's 30, 40 years of being old. And everything you fear when you were young comes true when you're old. Yeah. You know why? Because you see that when you're young. Yeah. And you say, oh, I don't want to be like that. There are horror stories we hear all the time on the news about they found this person who died in their apartment and their bodies had decomposed for the last 3 weeks. And you're like, oh. Their bodies decomposing is pretty sad, but they've been alone that long that when they die, no one discovered. And to me, if I die alone and I'm decomposed, it's not a big deal to me. But to those people, it is. But in monasteries, nobody dies alone. Nobody is lonely. Nobody's trying to regain their youth. Nobody's trying to pick up on somebody because their partner died. Nobody's worried about their insurance or having a place to stay or not being cared about. Nobody is worried about loneliness. And there's a stark difference.
That's amazing. Once you're free of all that, you're in a different realm.
You know what? Not only are you free, you are not encumbered in any way. I don't want to say happy because it gives a different, it's more, you are always light. Because old people in civilized Tokyo, Hong Kong, whatever you call it, I watch a program on the old in Hong Kong that are not rich. They live in cubicles.
Yeah.
You know, they're really poor, they're like 80, they have to go out there and they have to peddle garbage, meaning they get garbage to be recycled. They have to peddle that, sell it, 10 kgs for $1, whatever it is, and they barely survive. And their life in Hong Kong every day is getting enough to eat and being able to pay for the cubicle to live until they die. And they find these people in the cubicles. And the same thing in America. When you're old, what you look for every day, what you want is that you can get up, get your medications, not be in pain, physical pain, be fed, and have some independence.
Right.
But that's not like that in the monastery. Those rudimentary things are not like that. That's not the golden life, because it's very, very rudimentary. But you see, if you've been trained like that your whole life, you end up like that.
Right.
And that's what I want to get away from. I don't want to get away from old age or any of that. I want to get away from all the mind games that go along with it and all the delusions of you have to have a partner, you have to have an apartment, you have to have this, you have to have that. May I never be born in America. Never. In my future lives, may I never be born in America or Europe. May I always be born in a situation where I can be near spiritual practice. Because I have seen what it is. And the people who are stuck in that trap, they're not bad. They're not guilty. They're not bad, they're not guilty. They are born into it.
Right.
And that's all they know.
Right.
So when that's all they know, you can't put them down and say, well, they're unhappy, we're in a monastery, we're superior. You're not superior. They're not in that situation where they can find that help. So they're stuck in that system. In America, in Europe, in London, or whatever it is, in Tokyo. Tokyo, there's lots of homeless people I saw. I used to go get food to them. Hong Kong, tragic. It's such a powerful, vibrant, rich, huge, old city. To me, better than New York. But the poverty is incredible.
Right.
And the spiritual poverty, my goodness.
Yeah, this is all great stuff.
The goal in life for wealthy people here is that they can have a grandson. I'm like, that's it?